What's poppin', everyone? We are here today for our week 4 team builder of the APA. Gonna be going over the squad that I whipped up here for this week. You may notice actually it jumps from week 2 to week 4, so there wasn't actually a week 3 for us. And I mean, I was gonna come in and say that I crushed my opponent so badly that they didn't want me to upload it, but of course that didn't happen. I just ended up getting a forfeit win, so I got a 3-0 win, which puts us at a 3-0 overall record. So going into week 4. So we're just going to pretend that, week 3 was never really there, move on to this week, and see how we do. So we're going to be taking on Kaylin, also known as K-Cray, coach of, I think, the LA Spice. So should be pretty fun to face her. And let's go over her team real quick. As you can see, she has Mega Alakazam, Tapu Fini, Crocodile, Goodra, Lucario, Rotom Heat, Sceptile, Minior, Lantern, Togekiss, and a Frostlass. So the list should have already appeared to your right. And of course, it being a league where Z crystals can roam wherever, definitely have to be careful of certain Z users, such as well, to be honest, looking at her team now, nothing there aren't really any sort of big huge threats with a Z crystal. Not like typical stuff like Z Dragonite or Z like stuff you'd expect to see Z moves on, but that could be kind of tricky to anticipate because a lot of these mons I see in standard play don't really run Z crystals too often. Maybe Z Lucario could be a thing, Z Rotom for Overheat, or maybe Z Togekiss for Nasty Plot or something, but that's about it. So I'm not really too worried about that from a Z perspective, but she definitely has some threats. For instance, Lucario can either Nasty Plot or Swords Dance, and that's a really huge threat. Mega Zam's a big threat, but I'm not really that worried about it when I have a Drapion and a Wobbuffet, but I feel like she'll still want to bring that. I feel like she'll want to bring Mega Zam. Tapu Fini, I could definitely expect to show up in this matchup. Crocodile as well, I think, is a pretty solid option as a Pursuit Trapper versus stuff like Jirachi, and having a Dark type is nice. I think either Goodra or Togekiss will show up because it does, both of them kind of do wall the standard Serperior set, and I know you're looking at that Serperior right now, and you see that Coil 3 attacks Z move set that I whipped up here. I'll get to that in a second, but I'm pretty excited to bring that set as well versus her team. But I definitely anticipate one of those, either Goodra or Togekiss, to show up. I think Lucario definitely has an option, or has a good viability in this matchup, and Rotom Heat, I should definitely mention that because it can check a +1 Gyarados if it's Scarfed. But other than that, I don't really expect too much else for her to bring. Maybe Minior is another mon, which could kind of be scary actually, because Shell Smash is definitely a big threat to any kind of team, especially when I can't paralyze Minior behind its or when it's in its shield form, because that makes it immune to status until it gets into its offensive form, or shield broken form, I think is what it's called, or something. But or shield down or something. Yeah, shields down form. But yeah, so looking at my squad here, so I decided to start off with the Serperior, and the reason is because, right, I thought to myself, I was looking at Serperior, I was like, yeah, the standard Serperior set, Leaf Storm, Glare, whatever, it's not going to be great because she has Misty Terrain, first of all, to block paralysis and status and whatnot. It will prevent that with the terrain, and I get walled by Sap Sipper Goodra most of the time because I can't boost with Leaf Storm, and Togekiss, which is just naturally good versus it. Essentially, I looked at the move pool, right, and I noticed that it got Outrage. Okay, so that's a really good Z move that I can use to destroy Goodra, and it does get O-Code through Misty Terrain at +2, but without it, it will get O-Code at +1. Iron Tail with Coil becomes pretty much 100 accuracy, I think, after a Coil, and it will destroy Togekiss. If it's not Scarfed, I'll be able to live an Air Slash and 2-hit KO that really well. So I'm like, okay, I think Dragonium Z Serperior is going to make a really good Pokemon for this matchup. And of course Leaf Blade, which is allowing us to hit stuff as usual, like Tapu Fini, Crocodile, things like that. So very excited to use this set. Coil will be able to boost our attack, defense, and accuracy, so that we will hit our Iron Tails while at the same time boosting our attack and defense. And even boosting defense can be nice because we can set up over a Crocodile, we can take less damage from Lucario if it's Swords Dance. So I think Serperior, with the speed tier that it has, being faster than I don't know, I think I set this thing to be faster. Let me look at this team, or look at her team. I definitely set this thing to be faster than Frostlass, I think, because Frostlass's speed, it hits the same speed tier as Lottie, right? So being able to outrun that by 1 point is going to be useful in case she does decide to bring that. And we want to be faster than that because we can always go for like an Iron Tail or knock it out if it's weakened with a Leaf Blade or something. And having that kind of speed here is really useful. So I think, yeah, Serperior has a great speed, has the ability to set up and destroy its counters, namely Goodra with the Outrage, the Z Outrage, and Togekiss with the Iron Tail, and just hit everything else with Leaf Blade pretty much is sort of the overall, I guess the basis of this set and the start to the team. Next I have a Drapion, which I decided to bring, especially because Mega Zam is a huge threat, and Drapion with an Assault Vest is EV'd. I EV'd it in order to live 2 Focus Blasts from Mega Zam, from Modest Mega Zam. So that's nice. It can Pursue Trap that, it can crunch things. Actually, I did change it to Knockoff, so I'm going to put that. I remember changing it to Knockoff, or thinking about changing it to Knockoff, and the reason is, of course, because if I can get rid of Choice Scarfs, if I can like go for Knockoff versus opposing Choice Scarf mons like Crocodile and Rotom, then knocking off that can be really useful for something like Serperior to outrun in the late game, or just being faster in general with our other mons. So I think that's going to be useful with Knockoff here. Even though Knockoff doesn't Oko Mega Zam if they're running some bulk investment, I think that this thing can still handle it really well. Of course, Poison Jab for Finny and things like that. Earthquake for the Lucario mainly. And it does have enough speed to outrun Lucario. Lucario is definitely something I'm worried about, especially if it's Swords Dance or Nasty Plot. So that's going to be a problem if we can't outrun it. So I have a lot of mons that can outrun it, like this Drapion, for instance. Really nice mon. Can't get crit with Battle Armor. It's definitely a solid Pokemon for this matchup, especially dealing with Mega Zam. Then we have a Wobbuffet here, which is a Custab Berry, max HP, max defense. So I did mention about Minior, and I was a little bit worried about that because Minior at +2 in its attack form can be really, really threatening, and I needed some way to sort of handle that. And I think Wobbuffet does that extremely well, because when Minior is in its shield form, its attack is not as strong, it's not as great as outside of it. So we can easily bring in Wobbuffet on a Shell Smash, encore it into an attack. This thing gets like 3-hit KO'd by it, so we can easily encore if she decides to attack and then counter, or encore it into Shell Smash and then knock it out with something else. So that's something that could be really useful. Another thing that Wobbuffet is great for is dealing with Lucario, because if Lucario is a Swords Dance set, and I guess if it has Crunch or any kind of Dark Stab move, even if it's Nasty Plot, like it can still take a +2 attack from that. And it has Custab Berry, so if it gets into that range, I can encore into a move. If I'm in the Custab Berry range and their Pokemon or their threat is still alive, I can Destiny Bond and knock myself out, knocking them out in the process. So I think Wobbuffet's great in this matchup, and I don't think she'll expect too much of what it's going to do. So yeah, moving on to the last 3 mons here, as you can see, we have Jirachi. So Jirachi Scarf Rachi I think is going to be really cool for this matchup. Especially since like Jirachi just has a great typing versus her, because Mega Zam does not appreciate Scarf Jirachi at all. Neither does Finny. Scarf Crocodile gets outrun by Scarf Jirachi, and Crocodile can't like Pursue Trap me if I lock myself into Iron Head. I could probably flinch it down. And I have like the dual stab flinch moves here. So Iron Head in case we have still to deal with the Crocodile and stuff, and if that thing is gone, I can also lock myself into Heart Stamp in order to flinch down the Rotom Heat, and that's going to be nice because I opted for Heart Stamp over Zen Headbutt due to the fact that even though it has I think 10 less power or something, what is it like, let's see, Zen Headbutt 20 less power, 100 accuracy, and that's nice because I've seen Zen Headbutt miss so many times during competitive play when I'm using Jirachi on the ladder. I've used so many different sets before. Zen Headbutt misses, like I've seen it miss. So Heart Stamp with the 100 accuracy, it's going to be really nice, I think. We have U-Turn for momentum. That's always great in case, in case of any kind of switch into a Pokemon like Rotom Heat or something. I want to pivot out into something else, or U-Turn out into something else. It's going to be nice. And then Healing Wish is just there as sort of a backup move, which I'll probably like not click in this match, but I think it's always nice to have in case I want to revive a win con like Drapion or Serperior. These are my 2, I think, Pokemon that I feel will put in a lot of work in this matchup, with Jirachi probably being the 3rd. Then we have a Mega DNC. So it's my Stealth Rocker for the team, my lead Pokemon in this matchup more than likely, because I want to get off the early Mega, stop her from setting up potential rocks and spikes with Frostlass perhaps. And of course Moonblast and Diamond Storm kind of hit everything on our team pretty well, so I think that the stab move here with these two, it pretty much covers everything on her team. So I do like that a lot. And you know, the magic bounce is nice. Speed ties with Frostlight. I just ran max speed in case you decided to bring that. Don't want to risk any kind of speed tie or any kind of speed tiers being lower. So definitely want to have that that speed up there. And the final Pokemon is going to be Gliscor. It's going to be my defogger in case of her bringing an actual like hazard stacking team. I do want to have defog in case Mega DNC goes down, or if I'm not able to deal with those hazards too well. So I have this defog Gliscor with Earthquake Rock Slide. It kind of just like coverage wise hits everything, and enough speed to outrun the Lucario, exact same as Drapion. So that's there, and then Spadef so that I can handle Rotom a little bit better and protect to heal myself back up. I think Rotom's best hit to attack to hit me with is Overheat, unless it has HP Ice. So yeah, I think other than that, we have a pretty good, I guess, sort of team that can deal with, I think, everything she brings overall. But of course, we're going to have to play our cards right. And I think that we can really take some of her mons by surprise with Serperior, especially if she brings Goodra and Togekiss, which I'm really hoping she does so that I can see Serperior put in work. Just so you guys know, after week 4, or after this week, we're going to be moving on to draft number 2. If you guys didn't remember, this is actually a 3-part draft league sort of. So every 4 weeks we redraft. So I'll be getting up my draft analysis for draft 2 as well, probably on Sunday, I think, after the battle happens for this week. So you guys will get to see my new team, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun as well. So I really hope that Serperior can put in work for the last week, because I don't think I brought it out once at all. So if we can do that, it'll be great, and I'll get to be able to use Serperior for the first time in draft format, actually. So that's gonna be fun, and that too with like a very unorthodox set. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Hope you all enjoyed and are looking forward to the match. Probably going up tomorrow, I think 24 hours from this video. Not sure yet. Still got to coordinate a time to upload and whatnot. So yeah, it's gonna be that. I'll see you all on the battle going up tomorrow. Peace.